What's up, family? Man, I bless each and every one of you. May God continue to guide you, keep you, comfort you, and aid you in your growth and development, as well as the healing stage of your life. Family, man, we have to grow up emotionally. We have to grow up spiritually. Man, we're going to continue our series on the major arcana in the tarot deck. Today, we're going to talk about the High Priestess. This is the third card in the major arcana, right behind the Magician. And again, in the Magician, you learned how to take the four elements, and use the gifts that you already have, the talents that you already have. You learning how to use those, how to change the energy, how to transmute the negative energy sent your way, the negative things of your past experiences. You've learned how to change that energy. Okay? We're going to go a little deeper today. And it's no coincidence that the next card in the suit is this one, the High Priestess. And you look at this card, it's a pretty deep card. There's a lot of stuff there. You have a young lady who's sitting there, and you have the two columns. And again, those columns, the black and the white, the yin yang, the duality, good and bad, or whatever you want to call it, good and evil, whatever you want to call it, light and darkness, whatever. You have the B for Boaz, and the J for Jachin. If you know anything about Masonry, if you know anything about the Kabbalah, if you know anything about the Isis temples, you know that these are the columns from the temples, the columns from Solomon's temple, the columns from the Isis temples, If you know anything about Masonry, you understand the black and the white, Again, this get real deep. It can get real deep, and we're not going to go that far because it's not that serious, To the beginners, to those just starting to get a picture of what's going on. When you pick behind the High Priestess, you have not a rug, but like something to divide, it's like a divider, pomegranates. I can't think of the word right now, but pomegranates that's what's on the thing. Again, female energy, But what the division is that, God help us, behind the temple, the veil, it's like a veil. Behind this veil, it's nothing but water, And in some pictures they have mountains and other scenery, but it's the depths of the water. Okay, again, the water represents subconscious thoughts and fears and all the other stuff, the depths, knowledge, wisdom. Okay, how deep does it go? And what you're learning now in this third card, in this third phase of your growth and development journey, is that, man, I could go into my intuition. I do have an intuition. I've learned to go within me. I've learned to dive deep within me. And by diving deep within me, man, I've learned to tap into my intuition. I've learned to tap into my third brain, my first brain actually, which is, man, my intuition brain. I've learned to communicate with God, source, universe, intuitively. I've learned to listen and be led of my spirit, my intuition. So many of us, again, we've talked about being the fool, just completely stuck up here, the logic brain, completely oblivious to what's going on. Deep down inside is where I've learned to hear the voice of God. Deep down inside is where I've learned to communicate with Source, where I've learned to tap into higher consciousness. See, so many of us are so twisted, we think a higher consciousness, you got to go up, so we're always looking to the stars. We're always looking up, externally, as opposed to diving deep within ourselves. The duality, the opposite. We got to grow up. You don't go higher by looking and going up. You go higher by going deeper. By diving deeper, by getting more plugged in, more tapped in. We're so fixated on, man, God's up there and I got to serve God up there and da-da-da-da. No, you serve God by how you live your life. And how you live your life is how you live your life intuitively. It's a whole lot of people doing quote unquote good shit. And that's all it is. It's just simple, superficial shit. There's no power behind it. The motives behind their actions are wrong. We have to grow up. We have to learn to dive deep. We have to learn to tap into our subconscious. That's how you begin healing yourself. That's how you begin understanding who the hell you are. The high priestess. Man, I learned to dive deep. I learned to get beyond the darkness of my pain, the darkness of my suffering, the darkness of the drama and the chaos of my life. I've learned to get beyond the abandonment issues and all the other drama, and so I'm able to wear the white robe because I've gone beyond all of that. So I've allowed all of that pain and trauma to go. I've released it. A strip is like when a woman gets married. You know, a woman has on this white robe or gown, wedding dress, whatever you call it. You know what I mean? She has on this pure white wedding dress or off-white, whatever you want to, white dress. She ain't pure. She ain't perfect. But the symbol that she's going for is that, man, I'm presenting myself, this pure vessel. I'm presenting myself to my king. I'm his. This is the best of me. In this card, when we understand it, we understand that, man, I got to get deep. I got to get deep. We've gone beyond the fears. I got to get deep. We've gone beyond the illusions. We've gone beyond the distractions. I got to get deep. I got to get deep. Now I'm getting deep and understanding how to better use the tools that I have spiritually. Now I'm understanding the spiritual applications and spiritual purposes of the tools that I was given. So now it's like I'm in college, not just college, you know what I mean? I'm like master's degree, doctorate degree level stuff. I'm diving deep. I'm going beyond where I was at before. It's great, and so many of us, we get stuck in our journey as the magician. Oh man, look at me, I've arrived, and and you know what I mean? I'm able to alchemize, and I'm able to transmute energy, and I'm able to look at and use these tools, but we never go beyond that. Because we get fixated on the fact that, man, okay, now we get it. Now we get why we have these tools. Now we get why we have this ability. And we get so fixated on, look, I've gone from being this fool to being this magician, and look at what I could do, and we get stuck playing games. And then some of us will go that next step. We'll start reading tarot cards, and we'll start doing charms. We'll start doing oracle cards, angel cards, and all these other different things, intuitive things that we've learned, you know. And we're sitting there and we're like, oh man, look at me, I've arrived, and and look, I'm able to use my intuition to do this and do this and do this, and we get stuck and fixated. And it's cool being there, but you don't get stuck there. This is just another level on a stairway. This is just the third level. You still got 19 more steps to climb. You're not there yet. Don't get stuck being here. It's great you're here, you're on your journey. But this is not the end all. We got to grow up. Don't get stuck just reading tarot cards. Don't get stuck reading oral cards and all that other stuff. Again, that's great. But that's not the be all end all. You don't get a graduate degree just because you know how to read tarot cards. Just because you know how to read tarot cards and you're reading tarot cards for people, or whatever the case may be, don't mean that, man, okay, this is the end of your growth and development journey. Don't mean that, okay, man, this is where I get comfortable at and I can just sit back and put up my feet and I'm just going to read cards for people. It's great you're able to use your intuition to help other people understand where they're at in their journey. And that's part of our journey, is to help others. But don't get stuck. And I see so many people get stuck. Oh man, I can make money doing this. And man, I'm going to start a YouTube channel and I'm going to start charging people to do these readings. And again, I'm not knocking that. I've done readings on social media. You know what I mean? And there's a platform that I used to be a part of, man, years ago, before COVID. And I've given out over 500 something freaking readings. I get that. That's cool. But don't get stuck there. And if you're not careful, you allow yourself to get stuck. Because now you're giving to people and you're using your intuition to help others. And if you don't get careful, you'll be led by your ego. And you'll get stuck feeding the people and giving the people what they need, because you're now dependent on the feedback, on the affirmations, on the confirmations from the people that you're reading for. And so you've completely missed it. And you're completely misusing the gifts and the talents that you have. Because now you're doing it for egotistical reasons. Now you're using it to feed your insecurities, to feed your low self-esteem that you've never dealt with. We got to grow up and we got to understand, okay, wait a minute. The ego is always there. And yes, I present myself as this pure being, as this connection, sitting here between the depths and the superficial. And I'm sitting here and I'm able to take these people that don't know the depths, the wisdom that I'm able to tap into. And so they're looking at me as this goddess. They're looking at me as this God. And they're pumping me up with all these, oh man, I love your readings. I love your energy and and all this stuff. And we consume that egotistically. We feed off of that energy. And we get stuck. And we get addicted to needing people to feed us. We get addicted to needing people to say nice things about our readings. We get addicted to the energy. And we never go any further. And then what happens over time, not only do you get stuck here, you become tainted. And what I mean by tainted is energy has to flow. And when energy is not able to freely flow like it should be able to, it gets trapped. It gets diseased. It gets poisoned. It becomes toxic. We got to grow up. You're not perfect yet. You haven't arrived yet. You just learned how to tap into your intuition. You just learned how to take that ability and share some knowledge and insight to other people that don't have that ability. Or they do have that ability, but for whatever reason, they're coming to you. And so now you're seen as this teacher. You're seen as this guide. You're seen as this mediator between them and the spiritual realm. Don't get stuck here. It's great that you've gotten here. Understand your purpose while being here. But don't get stuck there. At all. And it's very easy to get stuck here. Because your ego is still lurking. Is lurking for ways of, man, how can I regain control? How can I benefit from this? How can I capitalize on this? And the trip is, people will look at you because they haven't done their own growth and development yet, or they haven't really learned yet. They'll look at you as this great teacher, as this great divine person. And you ain't really growing up anymore. You've gotten stuck in your journey. But you're so much further than where they're at that they'll make you feel like you're way beyond where you're at. Because they're hyping you up so much. And you're only at the 3rd level. And technically, you're only at the 2nd level. In your journey, you know what I mean? In your growth and development journey. We got to grow up. We have to grow up. Man, I hope and pray that I said something to encourage you, to inspire you, to even challenge your way of thinking. Don't get stuck. Don't get so excited that you give your ego the opportunity to come in and mind fuck you and get you off your journey by having you convinced that you're so much better than everybody else. You're so much more intuitive than everybody else. Well, I don't even need tarot cards. I could just intuitively read people and da-da-da-da-da and da-da-da-da. I could just look at people and just da-da-da-da, and I could just read energy and da-da-da-da, and you get so fucking mind fucked that instead of progressing, you're now degressing. You're now becoming the fool all over again. Man, thank you guys for rocking out with me. I love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.